We are Nicki and Carlo, and our family live in Positano, Italy, nearly 500 steps from the road, but surrounded by fruit and olive trees and with a fabulous view. Our garden overlooks the sea and we grow our own food. We show you what life is really like on the Amalfi Coast. So please subscribe and welcome to the Positano Diaries.
Saw you paint a picture of your face.
E che siamo? Una succursale di Blue Star.
Even close to mine. I know I shouldn't be in love.
This is our home in Positano, a small property with gardens tucked into a valley high above town. We love it here and it will stay in the family forever. We wouldn't dream of selling it. Carlo's father owns the property and eventually it will pass on to Carlo and then on to Tommaso and Sky. You don't see Carlo's father anymore here. He used to visit every day. He would catch the first bus in the morning up to Montepettuso and walk down the 500 steps, then spend all day pottering in the garden, growing fruits and vegetables and planting seedlings. He would gather whatever was ripe or mature and at the end of the day carry it down the 800 steps from our house down to his. But one day he didn't come. He said the steps were too many, he didn't have the energy anymore. And nowadays he doesn't go out much at all. This vertical town has defeated him. This is one of the things that scares me most about living in our valley. What if one day we can't do the steps anymore? What if we get ill, break a leg, or just simply grow old and stiff?
Having 8 and 7 days.
I've lived in this town for over 20 years and it has always been in my mind that one day I must prepare for the future and find a house in an alternative location. And finally, we found that property and have secured it as ours.
Quindi vuoi uscire? Vuoi fare una passeggiata? Sì?
We are so excited and can't wait to spend some time there. But we won't be leaving Positano for good. This is, after all, our home and our job pretty much is based on our lives here. We have a plan for now that we will go back and forth between Tuscany and the Amalfi Coast, 2 or 3 months at a time, maybe more, maybe less. We'll probably want to escape Positano in the crazy busy time of July and August, also in the dark days of winter when the town is closed and hibernating. But we don't want to miss the glorious springtime on the coast and the golden India summer days of autumn. I guess we don't know exactly how we will divide our time until we get access to the house.
'Cause
Last week we showed you how we found our dream property in Tuscany and how we made an offer on it. Today we're going out for lunch at the beach, but we're going to take you along and explain you the process and problems we went through to get the property.
Lo devo fare adesso?
Sì. So we ended up putting in an offer on a Saturday afternoon. and imagining it would be a simple phone call and we'd have the answer by Monday. But no, this was Monday morning.
Alessio!
Carlo, buongiorno.
Buongiorno a te!
Buongiorno!
Ciao Nicki.
Ciao!
Allora, io sono già pronto per buttare giù una proposta di acquisto, va bene?
Sì, certo.
Mi mandi un documento di identità di a chi vuoi che venga intestata la proposta?
Sì, lo mando il mio. Te lo mando. Che ti serve? Carta d'identità, va bene?
Sì, carta d'identità e codice fiscale. I preliminari lo facciamo a fine aprile.
Ciao Alessio, non per romperti le scatole, ma giusto volevamo sapere prima di 4-5 giorni se accetteranno la proposta oppure no. Grazie mille, ciao. No.
We drove back home yesterday, and this morning we're actually on our way to. We're actually now doing the MOT for the car, so we're in the garage at the moment. And Alessio called us as we were on our way. Alessio now has taken all my documents. He has to write out the offer on this big document and then send it to us, and we have to sign it, then we have to send it back to him, and then he has to send it to them, and then they have a week or so to decide whether they want to accept or not. So we've just called him now and asked him to just find out whether they're going to say yes or no, because it would save a lot of paperwork. That was the quickest thing ever. That literally took about 5 minutes. The time it took us to film the video, and the car's ready. Which is good, which means we can go. A few days later, we received a phone call from Alessio.
Alessio!
Ciao Carlo,
Ui caro, come stai?
come stai?
Io molto bene, grazie. E tu?
Bene. Prima che la proposta, diciamo, quella che gli abbiamo fatto va bene.
È stata accettata la proposta?
No, non ufficialmente, perché c'è un problema che va risolto.
Ragazzi, questo era il primo segno di qualcosa che non stava andando bene. E a quel punto, se avremmo saputo tutto quello che sarebbe successo dopo, avremmo detto no grazie.
Io mi sono già documentato e quello che hanno proposto loro si può fare e non si rischia nulla. Molto probabilmente c'è un'ipoteca giudiziale. Io ne ho parlato con il mio avvocato ora, infatti
Sì.
aspettavo di parlare con lui prima di chiamarti, gli ho chiesto se era una cosa fattibile, lui mi ha detto assolutamente sì, non ci sono problemi.
Ah, ok. Vabbè.
But he did reassure us that it shouldn't be too much of a problem and everything would probably go smoothly from now onwards. And we believed him, and so we went ahead. A couple of weeks later, I decided to go and visit Dad in England. At this point, I was still full of positive vibes and trusted that everything would be okay. And while I was there, I saw something that would go perfectly in the house and decided to make my first acquisto, the first purchase of something for the house that I still didn't have. Yesterday, I was with my dad and we walked down into town, and the charity shops here have pretty good stuff in them. And we went into a charity shop yesterday and I was actually looking for a couple of stuffed toys to buy for Indy to rip to pieces. Rather than buying her a new toy, just get her an old one from a charity shop and she can play with it until it falls to pieces. Except I discovered that the charity shops in this town are too posh for stuffed toys. There aren't any stuffed toys in any of the charity shops. But I found something that I totally was not expecting to find and ended up buying it. I found a pair of curtains. But they must be really expensive. Now, I reckon that somebody in one of these big posh houses around here has redesigned their living room and they've taken everything out, got rid of it all, and they're doing new stuff. These curtains are stunning. They are so thick you could actually use them as a duvet. They're lined, they're extra lined, they've got padding in the middle. They've got this beautiful fabric, which is like, I don't even know what it is, whether it's raw silk with embroidered bits on it and hydrangeas. They're stunning. I mean, I swear they must have cost something up to £1,000 originally. I don't know. Anyhow, I saw them there and I called Dad over and I said, hold these out for me, let's see how big they are. I said, yeah, and I was like, how much are they? They're £150 for the pair. So I bought them. They were so big and heavy that we couldn't bring them back. We walked into town, so we've had to leave them there. So we're going to go there this morning and pick them up. and bring them home. And they're so big and heavy that there's no way I can bring them back to Italy in my suitcase. So they're going to have to stay here until we next drive over and we can bring them back. Not sure when that's going to be, but at least I've got them, they're mine.
Return walk from the San Paul. I printed it off for Georgie the other day.
So this is the shop I got it in. And here they are. What do you think? So there they are in the car. I mean, that's how much space. I could definitely not get them in a suitcase. I'll just have to wait until August when we come back.
All the flags out for the coronation.
They're 2 meters wide and 2 meters tall.
That's the curtains, not Nicki.
I wish I was a bit taller, but it's so heavy. I wonder how much these cost. How much do you think they cost?
Oh, I reckon £1,000 at least. At least 1,000. I know what curtains go. Those brown ones hanging behind you cost me $360. That pair.
Okay. Definitely a good bargain then.
Oh, excellent bargain.
£150 a pair.
I reckon. Yeah, I mean minimum £1,000.
Right, I'll go and stick them upstairs.
So, il 30 maggio era la data prevista per mettere la firma e avere la casa. Se non che con questo ulteriore problema è venuto fuori che c'era un'ipoteca giudiziale sulla casa, però non avevano raggiunto ancora l'accordo tra chi doveva avere i soldi e chi li doveva dare, e quindi è saltato tutto.
It is the 23rd of May and everything has just fallen through. The offer that we put on and everything we did to try and get the house has not worked, and it's all fallen through. Yeah, basically what it all means is that we haven't got the house and we might not get the house. We're going to try and put in another offer. It's not all lost, so we're going to try and put in another offer. I'm going to try and not get too upset about it, and I'm going to make a plan that if I don't get this house, I'm going to buy myself a luxury camper van and go explore the world with my dogs and Carla, if he wants to come. Or something like that. Okay, fingers crossed. We try again. It is the 1st of July and I thought I would come and update you. I've just had to go and check on the video that I'm compiling when was the last time I filmed something about the house, because it's just been so long. Anyhow, last time I spoke to you, the offer that we'd put in had just fallen through and we had to start again from scratch. That contract was supposed to get everything going and finished and signed and sealed by the 30th of June, which was yesterday, and it didn't happen. So basically, we put in the new offer and then we waited. We heard nothing, and they promised that they would let us know whether the offer had been accepted by the 30th of June. And I felt like saying, excuse me, the 30th of June is the end date for our contract to sign the house deeds and do the exchange, not your deadline to decide whether you were going to accept the proposal. So we waited and waited. Yesterday, the 30th of June, I sent an email to the very, very unprofessional, condescending man who works at the asset management company. I had had some contact with him in the past and he was very unreassuring. I sent him an email saying, look, today is the day that our contract runs out. Is there any news? Have you guys accepted this offer? Please let me know. He waited until 6 o'clock in the evening and sent me an incredibly short message back saying, I suggest you speak to the sellers. So I don't have any contact with the sellers because we're going through 2 different estate agents, ours and theirs. So that's not something that I can do. And I was furious yesterday. I was going to record something yesterday, but I was too angry and I knew that I would be too brutal. So I waited until today and I'm a bit calmer. So it looks like it's going ahead. But at this point, honestly, I don't feel like I want to give them my money. I feel like the whole deal has been soured by his attitude and his behaviour. But I'm trying to keep in mind that I'm not giving the money to him, I'm giving it to the company that he works for. and I will get a lovely house out of it for a very good price. So it is Monday the, what is it, the 2nd, 3rd of July. 3rd of July. I have just spoken to Alessia, the estate agent. I'm out on my morning dog walk with Indy. Holly, as usual, didn't want to come. And I've apologised for my extremely angry messages that I sent him on Friday evening or Saturday or whenever it was. I've lost track of the days now. And I've told him to go ahead. So he's phoning the surveyor and getting the surveyor to come and... I just trod in dog poo. No. Getting the surveyor to come and go and do his survey in the house. And then we're going to try and organise to sign the act. I don't know if that's the right word in English. The house deeds and transfer them to me and pay for it and get the keys. We're going to try and get all that done as soon as possible now because it's just gone on for so long. And I'm still not going to get excited until I have signed the contract for the house because there's still so many things that could go wrong. I'm also still waiting for the floor plans, the original floor plans with the measurements in them because I still don't have them either. It's really frustrating. I want to play around with furniture and see what fits where. Stuff like that. Fun things.
Hello everywhere, è il 10 luglio e fa un caldo terribile, ma noi abbiamo la piscina quindi possiamo stare un po' più freschi. Allora, volevo aggiornarvi un po' sulla casa. Appena parlato con Roberto il geometra, il quale ci ha detto che mancano ancora dei documenti e che quindi fra un paio di giorni ci farà sapere se è tutto a posto oppure no.
A third contract was drawn up, ending the 30th of July. We had another chance. We all sat tight and waited, and waited, and waited. On the 25th of July, we got a very abrupt email from the notary saying that the representative from the asset management company could not make it to the appointment that we'd organised on the 30th of July to cancel the debt, so she cancelled the appointment and the third contract fell through. We had already booked a place to stay for 5 nights. Seeing as it was the end of July, beginning of August, it was high season, so the prices were higher than they usually were. Also, at the Lucas Summer Festival, there was concerts playing by Robbie Williams and Blur, and pretty much every place in Tuscany was booked up with people going to the concert. So we were really, really angry because we'd spent a ton of money on somewhere to stay, and there was absolutely no reason for us to go there in the end. We decided to go anyway, treat it as a holiday, relax, explore, swim and enjoy ourselves, and we actually had a really good time in the end. While we were there, we had a meeting with the sellers and the estate agents and we put together a 4th contract with the end date 15th of September.
Sapevamo che in agosto si sarebbe tutto fermato perché, come molte persone sanno, in agosto qui in Italia tutto si ferma. Quindi abbiamo dovuto rimandare a settembre sperando di fare tutto nelle prime 2 settimane. Comunque mentre eravamo lì... Ui, caro, grazie. A me grazie, messo proprio al posto giusto. Non l'ho detto. Comunque mentre eravamo lì in agosto abbiamo approfittato per andare a vedere la casa una seconda volta ed è stato bellissimo. Abbiamo capito che è davvero bello lì in agosto.
We're on our way to see the house for the second time. We first saw it on the 1st of April, so it was spring, and now we're going to see it at the very end of July. I'm going to get a look at some of the things that I forgot to look at last time, which was the kitchen. I mean, I had a glance, but I really didn't look at it at all. And some of the land, which we didn't have time to visit, and I want to take a few measurements.
Volevo dire che confermo che questa zona è molto bella e non vedo l'ora di sapere di più di qua. Chissà se succederà mai. Oh, c'è una stradina che ho passato.
Quando le canne lì, le canne le prendevo lì, e l'orto qui e le canne già.
c'era? No, non c'era. Non si capisce meglio. It is currently raining and we are the only part of the beach bar that is not covered.
Sta piovendo perché sono mesi che non scendiamo alla spiaggia, quindi siamo arrivati noi e adesso piove. Non mi fermerò di mangiare anche se piove.
I'm not sure if we're doing a good job explaining things. There were many other problems that we can't really share with you. Problems with money, transfers, personal documents, odd requests, and extra costs that sprung up out of nowhere. We would be here all day if we told you everything.
I primi 10 giorni di settembre, quando sembrava che era tutto pronto,
Era un disastro. It was a bit of a nightmare.
sì, è stato un disastro perché non avevano ancora consegnato la planimetria della casa.
The come si chiama? The surveyor had documents to submit that were still missing, that he didn't still have, and this is in September. He should have had them in mid-April, but he still didn't have them in September.
Non avevamo la certezza che quelli della banca venivano per togliere l'ipoteca.
Yeah, they still hadn't organised a date. They had one date booked for the 11th, and then it got changed to the 15th of September, and then the notary decided to split it and do 2 different days, when the whole point was that everybody was there on one day and we saw the debt being cancelled in front of us, and then that got changed.
E poi quando ci è stato confermato il giorno in cui si andava dal notaio, è successo che lo stesso giorno alle 10 di sera ci hanno chiesto di pagare per far venire queste persone a togliere l'ipoteca. A un'altra cifra aggiuntiva che non sapevamo è detta all'ultimo momento.
And we couldn't because we couldn't decide on the day that we could go and sign it, because it wasn't just up to us, it was up to the sellers and the 2 estate agents and the notary. Everybody had to be in agreement with the date of the meeting, and we couldn't make this payment first thing in the morning without knowing if everybody would agree that the meeting was going to go ahead on the certain day. It was absolute chaos. Also, the notary surprised us with another 2 or 3, I can't remember now, surprise payments that she'd forgotten to mention, and they were quite big payments. So one of them was €2,000, one of them was almost 4,000, and she'd never mentioned these before. So that last 10 days of September was like standing there and being repeatedly punched and punched and pinched and scratched and punched, all these things that kept happening, and it was very, very tiring.
Non tutte le case in vendita in Italia hanno questo problema, anzi sono una percentuale molto piccola. Noi siamo stati un po' sfortunati, un po' non ci hanno spiegato bene le cose dall'inizio e un po' non hanno fatto proprio bene il loro lavoro. Quindi niente, siamo stati, come si dice, unlucky. Leggendo i commenti dell'ultimo video vi volevamo innanzitutto dire grazie per tutti i messaggi carini che ci avete mandato e anche dire no, non ci stiamo trasferendo in Toscana, noi andremo a vivere una parte dell'anno in Toscana e no, non vendiamo la nostra casa a Positano perché è della mia famiglia, è mia, ma è della mia famiglia e più a lungo possibile potrà restare con noi questa casa, noi la terremo con noi, non vogliamo venderla.
Yeah, if you want to, as mentioned before, if you want more information about why we bought a house in Tuscany, please do watch the video that I will link up here, because there we do go a bit more in depth about one or two of the reasons why we are doing this. One other question that came up quite a lot in last week's video was the fact that people are worried that we haven't got the house now. We have an agreement, and it's a signed contract, that the owners can stay there until January because they need time to renovate where they're going. And that's fine for us because we don't need the house desperately. It is a future investment for us, so we don't need to move there straight away. It gives us a few months to think about what we want to do, how we want to change it, what we want to put inside it, and it gives us time to also earn a bit of money so that we can maybe buy some mattresses for it or something. And that's absolutely fine. It gives us something to do this winter, which means we can finish off the summer here in Positano. We can have Christmas wherever we decide to have Christmas this year. And then at the beginning of the year, we've got a very exciting new project to get on with.
È chiaro poi che se ci saranno ulteriori ritardo, allora noi veramente ci incazziamo, perché tutto quello che abbiamo sopportato fino adesso è già troppo.
We just left the beach at about 3:30 and it is now 4:30 and we've got about 400 meters. We have just continually bumped into people, some of you guys actually, viewers who watch our videos, and we've been chatting away. It's been really lovely to meet everybody.
Sì, è stata una cosa davvero particolare.
This lady just came up to me and told me that she was reading my book. That's amazing.
Quanto poteva avere la probabilità di succedere che incontravamo due coppie che ci conoscono nei video allo stesso giorno, allo stesso punto? Erano 20 giorni che non venivamo giù in spiaggia. Non abbiamo fatto il bagno oggi perché era davvero ventoso, però ci siamo divertiti tanto.
We were hoping to waste a little bit of time until it was 4 o'clock so we can go and do the shopping because we haven't got much food left at home apart from tomatoes, potatoes and onions that we grew this summer. So it's now 4:30 so we can go to the shop. Let's go get some food.
No.
Allora è proprio vero che il popolo italiano uno fatica e lato guarda.
Ciao.
Bello, come stai? Mi piacciono anche le scale, è difficile,
Quante scale devo fare ogni giorno?
We were going to take you with us to do the shopping and we completely forgot. And now we're going down the steps and we've got loads of stuff. And sometimes it's easier to carry things on your head. This is 800 gram tins of dog food and it definitely is lighter to carry it on my head.
Io non sto portando niente. Non è vero. C'è un sacco di roba sulle mie spalle. La maggior parte delle volte che torniamo a casa, amore, diciamo l'80%, ma anche di più, è una fatica. È bello tornare a casa, ma è anche molto faticoso, che magari già si è stanchi perché si è usciti tutta la giornata, si è stato fuori. E poi dobbiamo portare anche le cose a casa. Non è una lamentela, è un fatto. È un fatto. Proprio non ti piace così, eh?
No, è brutto.
Ok, così siamo più belli. È vero?
Ma anche meglio il short, sembra gnomi così.
Ok, così sembriamo più alti, è vero.
Possiamo andare a casa. Esatto.
Andiamo, dai, vai.
Again, let me just thank every one of you for watching our videos, commenting, being so lovely when we meet you in person, and all the support you give us. An extra big thank you to our patrons as well for your sage advice, ideas and encouragement. We appreciate you all. See you next week.